and he says, Buddhism aims for nibbana, liberation from rebirth, reincarnation. But this strikes me as a very bleak outlook, as if life were merely a burden to be escaped. The Four Noble Truths define life as suffering, yet I see beauty in it.
They don't, actually, but never mind.
Suffering is real, but is life itself suffering? I even want to reincarnate. I want to be reborn. Yet Buddhism seeks to end this cycle. I accept that craving causes suffering, and I appreciate much of the Buddha's teaching. But is Buddhism's perspective on life truly this grim, or am I misunderstanding something?
Well, I guess yes and no, I suppose. But yeah, you could say it's grim from the point of view of sensuality. From the point of view of alcoholic, depriving him of alcohol, it's the grimmest experience you can imagine. But the question is now, are you have enough self-awareness to recognize that you're an addict? That's flying down the mountain and he can't stop. It has to end in a crash, a repeated crash. Or you have enough self-awareness to recognize that and realize, oh yeah, so I can't trust my perspective. So, would you trust the perspective of an alcoholic, telling you that alcohol is actually great and there is no harm? But a mere thought of giving it up freaks him out completely. So, Buddhism does not seek to end the world. Buddhism seeks to end the world for those who want to practice it. If you don't want to practice it, Buddhism will happily leave you alone. The actual Buddhism, the actual Dhamma, is not for you. So, now obviously this person has some recognition of the Buddha's teaching. How accurate it is, well, obviously not very much. But they really need to look even closer, even to the principles of Buddhism that they seem to agree with, and check them whether they are actually the principles that the Buddha thought about, or the principles of the later Buddhism that was more concerned about the world and happiness and making it a better place for all beings and whatnot. That's not what the Buddha was teaching. Well, he was what he was teaching, just not going about it in the same way. He went about it a very different way. The greatest thing you can do to mankind is to fully free yourself from samsara by becoming an arahant. That is the greatest contribution that you can make, and make factually an actual factual improvement to the samsara being a better place to that little extent that somebody's freed from it. So if they reevaluate what they think the Buddha was teaching, especially things that they think they agree with, but then they disagree with the major outlook of be free from the world and it's not worth, I want to be reborn and so on, then they get to see that basically they're carrying a contradiction. You can't be possibly valuing freedom from desires and so on in a true manner that the Buddha was teaching, as if like, you know, when the Buddha was presenting freedom from sensuality, he wasn't saying like, oh, it will make your sensual experience better if you practice restraint. It will make you appreciate it more. It will make you have a greater perspective on the world. It was like, no. It will free you from that which is factually suffering, but you're not recognizing it. So it's not gonna, the Dhamma will not help you tolerate alcohol better. It will, if you actually practice it correctly, the way it was intended, it will show you that your love of alcohol and love of samsara, in that simile that I gave, you want to be reborn, you love the happiness of life, comes out of the intoxication from the alcohol, from the life.
And is rooted.
That's where your perspective comes from the fact that you're intoxicated, that you're not thinking clearly. So, if you practice the Dhamma correctly, it shows you that which you think happiness is, sensuality, the world, is factually burning embers that are harming you, damaging you right there, right now while you're engaged with them. factually. But you don't see that because you're drunk. You're drunk on life. So that's why it's important, as I said, to check your sources and the ideas of the Dhamma, where it comes from, and try and bring it down to the early suttas at least. Because see how easy it is to carry these contradictions. Oh, I value life, I value samsara, and I value Buddhist teaching, and I'm doing both. That's impossible. If you think you can do it, means because you're not doing the Buddhist teaching. And as I said, even people that didn't manage to become arahants in their lifetime and so on, but practice rightly, it's only because they ran out of time or they got complacent with the practice. But at no point would somebody who practices rightly the Buddhist teaching think that he can have both world desires and freedom from desires. Because once you see desires as burning coals, the mind will turn away from it. It will be impossible to want it, like the suttas how they say it. In the same sense, it will be impossible for you to desire your own vomit. It will be impossible for a stone broken into to be ever joined together. Doesn't matter what you try to use. Or a dry leaf to become green. It's irreversible. Freedom from desire is irreversible because being affected by desire was rooted in a mistake. A self-perpetuating misperception of factually unpleasant that's felt pleasantly because you're drunk. You remove the intoxication, factually unpleasant will be felt unpleasant. And you don't need to tell yourself, oh, now I will say no to these desires. There will be no more desires towards it. So, yes, Buddhism is very bleak if you're still drunk. If you're not drunk, you realize this is the only health that can actually be acquired. Everything else is still within your addiction. It's still within a problem, it's still within samsara. It's still going to have only partial, limited and expiring results.